further down the order and still have a lot of work to do.
So the starting grid now for the second race of the weekend. Gabrini on pole position from Ramadhipa. Can he make it 2 from 2 this weekend? Bajosa on the front row. Alvaro, Lucas head off. Borelli and TV on row 2 as Rostangi. Longarela and Gutierrez start on row 3. Now the 26, 12 and 36 of Volksberger start on row 4 ahead of Borg, Rodriguez and Galan on row 5. Mariolanda on the 27 starts ahead of San Juan and Crackville as Carpushan, Ethan Sparks and Sanchez start on row 7. The 51, the 10 and the 94 of Osorio start on row 8 as Beluzio and Cano start from row 9. Savino, Tamburini and Diez start on row 10. That rounds out your 30 riders taking.
Starting on row 2, what can he do? The red lights are on. And we go racing for race 2 of ETC, and straight away the 81 of Gabrini trying to get a good start, but it is going to be Ramadhipa side by side with Bujosa at turn 1. The 69 into the lead, he goes now. Alvaro Lucas up into P4 as well. So your pole sitter back down to it looks to be P6 so far. Longarela, a good start from the. This be his chance to reclaim some championship points and to stretch out that championship lead. The championship lead at the moment is just a 1-digit number. It's 6 points. In the lead of the championship is the 45, but now we come down to turn 5 for the first time of asking. Moves will be made, that is a guarantee. Hopefully none of the drama last time out. Obviously Cano making his way through the field further back down the order. Lucas dropping back down to P4, dropping right behind Longarela. So a good marker for him. Everyone through turn 5 clean this time. A nice clean start for the ETC field.
Absolutely an incredibly clean start. We see the pole sitters just ahead of the number 13. That's Matthias Rostagni getting ahead through the Nürburgring chicane and into the 180-degree headline. A perfect start for Bujosa from the third row. He wasn't challenged into the hairpin.
Yeah, it was a good start for him. As now they'll try and stretch their gaps early on, and that's just when everyone's finding their feet, finding what their pace is going to be this time around. But as you mentioned, good start from Rostangi further down the order as through goes Longarela on the inside of Ramadhipa. But Ramadhipa, what does he do? What response does he have as they make their way through turn 14 in just a moment's time, almost side by side? The 32 slotting in behind now into turn 15 we go, and out nearly anyway losing it on the brakes. It was Alvaro Lucas. Up the inside he goes. That was move done. It looked like it was going to be a near collision, or at least a near off from Alvaro Lucas, but he's kept everything under control and now into the podium battle.
And chasing down Alex Longarela straight away, although he does still have to defend from the number 32 he just passed. Just to make a note, you've probably seen it on the cameras, it looks like more rain starting to fall, so no worries about the track drying out, but more rain for these riders to contend with.
Yeah, certainly more challenges, and so far on that opening lap, Cano 13 positions he's made up, so a good start inside the point scoring positions already. Of course, as we mentioned, starting from P27 on the grid, loads of ground to make up. But Ramadhipa, your race 1 winner, sits in P4 at the moment. Now, what we see in race 1,
the issues he's going to have is there is already a big gap forward.
As we do have a rider down, actually, sorry about that, Jack, but yeah, rider down on the exit of turn
race 2. Just to go back to what I was saying about Cano, one of the issues he's going to have is there are already big gaps forming between the groups. For example, between Ramadhipa in 4th and Borelli in 5th, it's 2 seconds. It's not insurmountable if he's able to get there quickly, but it is going to be a challenge if he's not able to make the moves fast.
Yeah, certainly, and well, now as we continue on, Ramadhipa is losing touch ever so slightly of this front. A disappointing end to any hopes of a strong result anyway. But Alvaro Lucas, P from your leader, Bujosa, now a 2:04.407. A solid time this early on. What we see time and time again, the lap times really Longarela, he has us to follow Bujosa in front.
Bujosa is the first rider to come across any change of conditions because of the rain falling or it starts drying out. So although he's got track position, in a way he's disadvantaged because he doesn't know where he can push. Whereas, as you say, Longarela has a good reference in front of him, and you can see the gap has closed up in the first sector of this lap.
And now heavy on the brakes once more. This is where we've seen the high side earlier on in this one from Mariolanda, but nuns, all the such. Further back down the order, about 8 or 9 riders in this group. Cano has managed to get ahead of all of them, and I believe that should be edging towards the top 10. So P11 at the moment, time screen showing 55, having a fall. Yep, that is also on screen now at turn 9. For him, as looking at the inside is Longarela. Nothing made though this time around. And of course that was the crash of Michael Sanchez that we had the graphic of earlier on, of the 55. But the front two seem to be just bridging the gap at the moment from Alvaro Lucas, as Cano now enters the top 10. P9 for him at the moment.
Yeah, Cano up to P9, a great comeback ride so far in the early stages, but as you say, the top two just seeming to break away from Alvaro Lucas. Bujosa leading Longarela, but Longarela is visibly quicker on this lap and has been setting purple sectors so far. Purple sector means fastest of anybody, and as you can...
So, with the gap now being 4 tenths, you'd have to say with 6 laps remaining, the battle is on. Result for 25 championship points. Longarela is going to be hungry for those 25 points. He's been battling all the way throughout the weekend, and then sadly, a mistake from Cano made past down on the back straight as we head towards turn 5 is Longarela. So the 45 back into the lead now, and what can he do at the front? Can he immediately stretch a gap from Bujosa, or is the 69 awaiting something? Has he got something left in his back pocket?
Based on what we saw over the last couple of laps, you would think Longarela would be able to pull a gap. However, Longarela is now in the situation. 80-degree corner, different lines, obviously different parts of the track giving different grip levels for these riders.
Yeah, different grip levels all the way around the circuit, and grip, well, proven to be crucial here in this one to get a fast lap in. But Longarela, we're going to wait and see what the time's going to be. It was a first 2 good sectors from the 45. So turn 5 for him down at the hairpin. Such a tricky corner, both in and out on the wet conditions. But a slight moment there.
I've just been looking at the timings for Carlos Cano. He is up to P6, 3 seconds behind Matthias Rostagni with 5 laps to go. Potentially P5 is possible, but then there's a 6-second gap to Ramadhipa. That is unlikely to be bridged, I would suspect.
Yeah, a lot of work still to do. It has been a race of just constantly putting in Longarela. Looks like he has stretched the margin, but we did see him make a mistake at turn 1 last time around. And well, you cannot be making mistakes in these conditions, because if you ask for more and more, eventually the track or the bike will bite. For turn 15, but 69 swoops around the outside, takes the position into the final sector, the high school complex, and now into the final corner. 16, 17 on the power once more, and well, it looks like as he runs out onto the curb, slight bit of spinning up out of the final corner. But you would have to say in between turn 3 and 5, down the back straight, that's where he's going to be lining up another move.
Yeah, Longarela in P2 will get a huge slipstream effect down into P5. It does look like Bujosa has pulled out a gap, but it's probably not enough to be able to defend. The sector 3 time on the last lap, Bujosa.
You just seen him close and close, and well, having a little stretch actually was Longarela, just bringing out his knees, although not the most aerodynamic. He's just trying to make himself last till the end of the race. He doesn't look down the inside this time around. He sits comfortably in second this time around.
They can sit first and second in that order if that's what Longarela would like, until he can work out the best place to overtake Bujosa.
A wider line on the entry to the 180 corner. So Longarela won, nearly on the podium. He still could be on the podium. It's ETC, anything can happen. These are the challenger races for a championship charge where you need to stay focused with nobody around you.
Exactly. If he, as we said before, if you can't win, you can't finish on the podium, you take what you can get. If P4 is what Ramadhipa can get in this race, take it 100%. Still good championship. Oh, he had a massive moment. 2 massive moments coming out of the final chicane. Just able to keep it together.
Yeah, just keeping it together. Losing the rear on the exit of turn 17. And then all the way, as we do see actually, a rider down there on the run to turn 1 that looks like as well. We do have 49 crashing out as well, rider okay. But sadly, that's all came to an end, and now they're getting the scooter back to the path. We'll wait for official confirmation. But over the line last time around, it was the 69 leading Longarela. 3 tenths, nearly 4 tenths of a second was their margin. as actually it looks like a little bit of celebrations already. I think Bujosa realises that it's probably him that's going to take the win, and Longarela says he doesn't know, and that's just in the hope that he does manage to win on count back. But I think it will be Bujosa taking the win in this one.